So we got the 1010 spoilers, and I think something huge was just revealed. I mean, usually there's like a big reveal in like almost every other chapter in this arc, but this one is like huge, at least for Zoro. But let's get into it. So the title of the chapter is Shoku, which is Conquerors Haki. The chapter begins with the fall of Big Mom. So in case you need a refresher, at the end of the previous chapter, Big Mom was straight up knocked off of Onigashima after an awesome group effort by the Supernovas. And the chapter ended right there. We don't know if she fell into the ocean yet, but she certainly was knocked off. Luffy looks like he's defeated. So another thing that happened in the previous chapter was Luffy got absolutely wrecked by Kaido. He hit him like point blank with a named attack called Ragnaroku. And it had like Haki lightning coming off of it, and we'll get more into what exactly that was. I mean, I think we all kind of assumed, but I didn't want to say it outblown in my review because it wasn't exactly confirmed that Kaido had this. But yeah, understandable that Luffy looks defeated because, you know, that's probably the strongest attack he's ever taken face first in the series at that point. Kaido attacks Zoro to free Prometheus. So Kaido does in fact want Big Mom to survive here. We saw in the previous chapter Zoro was slicing up Prometheus as a way to stop him from saving Big Mom so that, you know, her falling into the ocean could be assured. But Kaido doesn't want that. He's knocking Zoro out of the way so that Prometheus can reform and then just go quickly save Big Mom, who is falling. Law changes with Zoro and attacks Kaido. So this is cool. Law shambling himself with Zoro and then just attacks Kaido in the process. Zoro seems to be pretty hurt at this point. I mean, he straight up blocked Conquest of the Ocean in the previous chapter, a joint attack from Big Mom and Kaido, maybe the strongest thing we've ever seen at this point. And he was saved at the last second, but he still, you know, made contact with that thing. And one of the last panels of the previous chapter, he was like straight up, you know, coughing up the Kool-Aid. So he's definitely on shaky ground right now. Prometheus is going to help Big Mom. Kid says the goal is to separate them, leave her to us. Zoro says, Kid, kill her. Prometheus saves Big Mom and asks her for something. We don't know what. So yeah, I speculated about this in my 1009 review. It just seemed way too good for Big Mom to just be defeated at that point, especially considering how Oda writes things. Things are never simple with Oda, and I'm not mad at it, but I just don't like the amount of fake outs that Oda does. And I don't know, it's just, it seems like he just needs to shoehorn something in at the end of a chapter to, I don't know, get us like super excited only for it to not pay off in the following week's chapter. Like I said before with the whole Oda and Conquerors stuff, I get trying to build up interest, but like we're already invested at this point. You don't need to keep sending us off on these cliffhangers that ultimately just have no payoff. It doesn't change how I feel about chapter 1009. It was awesome. And everything that led to Big Mom being knocked off of Onigashima was incredible, but it just has no payoff. Other than showing, I guess, Big Mom is vulnerable to suddenly being defeated by the teamwork of the Supernovas. But going to when Kid says the goal is to separate them, leave her to us, I like this if it is going where it seems like it is, with just Kid and Killer taking on Big Mom by themselves, and that leaves Luffy, Zoro, and Law to take on Kaido. So now we have like these two different battles going on, although it all comprises of one big one. I'm totally on board with that because, you know, Luffy and Law, their target was Kaido, you know, in the first place. It was obviously set up in Punk Hazard, which led us to this point. And Zoro being there is incredible because, you know, we love Zoro. We want to see him fight someone with Luffy. It hardly ever happens in the series. But considering what's going to happen in this chapter, it doesn't seem like we're going to get too much more of Luffy and Zoro teaming up, but, you know, we'll see what happens. Zoro says, this is my limit. If this doesn't work, I'll leave the rest to you. Zoro uses the Ashura attack against Kaido. We don't know if it's the old one or a new one. Kaido says it can't be. Shoku? Conquerors Haki? Enough is enough. Brain Myung Bagua. So this is it. This is the huge, incredible reveal that we're getting. One of the biggest in the series, possibly. Zoro finally using Ashura again. We, the fandom, and just Zoro fans in general, have been, you know, speculating about when this was going to come back, if it was ever going to come back. And since then, we've always been wondering, like, you know, what was up with Ashura? Is he going to do it again? How powerful is it in relation to, like, the new cast and the updated power scale? Well, we're about to find out because he's doing it here. So I guess this is the possibly strongest thing that Zoro can do, even stronger than the Billion World kilocrism, whatever he did to Hika. I mean, he does say this is my limit, so yeah, I mean, I guess this is it. Now let's come to what Kaido says after this. And before I go any further, let me just say that these are rough spoilers. The way the dialogue lines up with each other could be off, and it might not necessarily translate that way into the actual chapter itself. That being said, I think Kaido is straight up saying that Zoro has Conquerors Haki here, right? But considering how powerful he is, given that he is Luffy's first mate, you know, we think that he's kind of has to have Conquerors Haki at this point. And also, in my chapter 997 review, I remember Brook kind of teasing that Zoro may or may not have Conquerors Haki, because after Zoro has like an exchange with Queen, and he notices Okiko's arm falling from the roof, and it like triggers Zoro. He's like, oh, this is serious, you know, we're here for a reason, you know, I need to go after Kaido. And then this, what appears to be like a Conquerors Haki, you know, aura blast thing happens from him. And Brook's like, you know, was that Conquerors Haki? And then Zoro like brushes it off. He was like, you know, that wasn't me. And the leading speculation coming out of that chapter was, oh, is that setting up Zoro for a Conquerors Haki reveal? So I guess that's possibly what that was. If this is exactly what is happening in this sequence here, according to the spoilers, and that Ashura is something that is being produced by Conquerors Haki. So two birds with one stone here. The confirmation of Zoro's Conqueror Haki and the explanation of what Ashura is, because that was always like a big question too. Like, what is Ashura? Because like we never knew. There was just tons of speculation as to what he was actually doing when he activated that technique. Turns out that this is just an application of Conquerors Haki, which, hey, makes sense to me. So I'm not even sure if Zoro's getting hit here, but if he is, he might be done. Hopefully not, because I really still want him to fight and defeat King, but you know, I guess we'll have to wait to see what happens. Luffy recovers and talks to Kaido. Luffy says, when you hit me with your bat, I understood everything. Did you use Conquerors Haki? Kaido says, only the powerful can do it. After this, Kaido falls before Luffy's attack. One is in the image. Luffy says, at some point, in some way, you will fall. So the image provided by the leaker is what he drew himself, like a recreation of the panel, and it's Luffy giving like an uppercut to Kaido, but it has like the Conquerors Haki lightning coming off of it. I guess we're seeing how Luffy is going to eventually going to be able to defeat Kaido here, because he's using, I guess, an advanced form of Conquerors Haki, like where you can imbue it into your attacks. And also, it's kind of implied that this is how Shanks fights as well. We haven't really seen him do much in the series, but in the video games, take it with a grain of salt, but he's depicted using like Conquerors Haki type attacks, like crazy electricity and red aura energy coming off of his sword and stuff like that. And what Luffy is doing here kind of matches up with that. So this is awesome, but I'm surprised that he's tapping into this so soon. And I say soon, chapter 1010, but I thought that we'd maybe see this when he was going against Shanks, if he even does go against Shanks at this point. But yeah, I guess that's where the chapter is going to end. And unfortunately, there is going to be a break next week, but it's all good because this chapter is pretty fire. But let me know what you think about it in the comments. Do you think Zoro actually has Conquerors Haki? Do you think Luffy is using Conquerors Haki as an attack method? Let me know. And if you liked the video, guys, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.